Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here, 5:25 a.m., 12/11/2013. Really tired, started to lose my voice there in the introduction of Free Ranger. That said, we've run through the gauntlet here. We've introduced our Wii U console starter pack. We've done the Dark Edition starter pack. With Free Ranger, we basically completed the introduction of the 3DS starter pack. Since we just did Free Ranger, makes sense to me, go ahead and do Legendary Free Ranger. Legendary Free Ranger, of course, Toys R Us exclusive here in the US. Same pose, same figure, just kind of the traditional, navy and gold repaint, if you will, on the figure. We're going to come in, take a look at the stats, everything like that for you. Before we do that, let's go ahead. This will give you one last look at Free Ranger. My apologies, I've finished Chapter 5, ready to go to Iron Jaw Gulch. But at this point in the game, it's like, dark here in Woodboro, kind of, makes it a little harder to see the character. That said, the light, and then here on the wood, you get a feel for what standard Free Ranger looks like. Legendary Free Ranger will look different. Let's go ahead and pull Free Ranger. Grab Legendary here. I actually do have him handy. I'm not sure that he has been on the portal. If he has, it would have been when my nephew and I battled. As you can see, Legendary Free Ranger and Specials, how he's introduced. He has battled a little bit, it looks like. Let's see here. You can see the difference right away, not only in the character art there, the name, but when he's down there on the ground. What he looks like, we'll put him here. Really can't see a whole lot, but I mean, you get the idea. He's blue and gold. So jumping, he's got that same really cool air somersault thing going on. I'm a big fan of that. But powers, we're going to begin. His primary attack, ridiculous damage, 28, 46. You'll see all kinds of numbers. 42. You should see a 69 at some point in time. It's just really intense, close quarter combat, close quarter numbers. He is basically a beast. Haven't seen a 69 yet. We did with standard. There was one right there, so we'll stop. 28, 42, 46, 69. You get the idea. Massive damage is going to be dealt with this guy. His secondary attack, he actually turns into a tornado. You hold it down. Obviously, if you let go, it stops instantly. But when you hold it down, he will do low damage, 5 to 8, but he does it really fast. It also throws enemies a little bit. What we'll do now, actually, come in here. We're going to go to Collections and slide over to Skylander, come into Air. Note that it only gives us credit for 3. Okay, so that's Boom Jet, Free Ranger, and Legendary Free Ranger. As you can see, Legendary Free Ranger : Special. Whip up a storm is a slogan. We're going to read that bio. Free Ranger was hatched during a storm when a thunderous bolt of lightning struck his egg. From that very moment, his destiny was clear. He would become the greatest storm chaser ever known. He spent his entire life pursuing hurricanes, spinning inside tornadoes, and riding lightning. But a day came when he encountered a storm unlike any other. It was unnatural and ominous, billowing with evil and leaving only desolation in its wake. Free Ranger was standing at its edge moments from boldly leaping into it when he was stopped by none other than Master Eon. The wise Portal Master told him that it was the darkness that raged before them, and if he were up to the challenge, he could join the Skylanders to help defend against it in the Cloudbreak Islands. Rest, of course, being history. We're going to back out of here now, go all the way back to this menu, come into Skylander.
Looks like chicken scratch to me.
Yeah, take a look at his stats here. Alright, what's important to note, this is Wednesday, that's where that plus 30 is. You're probably saying, hey, there's no hat, what's going on? Wednesdays you get plus 30 max health at this point in the game, so assuming that'll continue. But he began box stock at 280. Speed 43, armor 18, critical hit 8, elemental power 32 now, 25 box stock. Clearly, what it's giving us that plus 7 for is simply Boom Jet. It doesn't register Legendary Free Ranger plus 7, Boom Jet plus 7, and we'd be sitting at 39. If you think 280, 43, 18, and 8 sound familiar, that's because they're the exact same stats as Free Ranger. Me personally, I'm pretty disappointed in this, not only for the legendaries but also the dark characters. Obviously the health I'd expect to stay at 280, but I would have loved to have seen legendary Free Ranger, have 49 speed and 24 armor box stock, or 24 armor and 12 critical hit. Just something, to kind of differentiate him from standard Free Ranger outside of the coloring, But it is what it is. You got to make do with what you can. We're going to back out of here, actually go down 2 upgrades. Going to be the exact same thing as our Free Ranger introduction, but I realize some people aren't going to care to look at a Free Ranger video. They'll want to see a legendary Free Ranger video even though it's the same, so trying to accommodate everyone here. Want to stress this. Unlike standard characters we've had up to this point in time, Giants included, Light Core included, this is a totally different deal with the Swap Force characters. You've got the top and the bottom to upgrade. 3 purchased upgrades for the top and the bottom. Then you get into 2 paths with 2 upgrades, and then a soul gem. The 2 paths being for the top with the soul gem, and then 2 paths on the bottom with a specific soul gem there. So that said, if that's confusing, just know that as soon as I press A, which I just did, everything you see here is the top of Free Ranger until we get back to that screen and I tell you we're on the bottom. So keep that in mind. Primary attack that does anywhere from like 24 to 69 damage. Stormblade slash. Press Y to slash at enemies with powerful Stormblades. You can say that again. First purchased upgrade is actually his tertiary attack. Eyes of the Storm. Press the X button to shoot a bolt of lightning from the eyes, stunning the first enemy and chaining to others. Sounds very promising, sounds interesting, zappish, whirlwindish. I'm excited to kind of see how that turns out. Second purchased upgrade on the top side, going to be Charged Blades. Press Y to slash with more powerful storm blades that do increased damage, as if they need it. I mean, that 24, 42, 46, 69 is some significant numbers as is. Coming up next, his final purchased upgrade number 3 for the top end, if you will, Gale Slash. Press Y 3 times to send a wave of powerful air at enemies. That sounds and looks very cool. Now, on the top end, you get 2 options. You can upgrade the blades, or you can kind of go with the tertiary attack. So, this first one upgrades the blades. It's called a Wind Slasher path. It begins with Slicing Storm. Hold Y to charge the storm blades and release for a devastating combo attack. If they say devastating, I assume it must be like astronomically high numbers. Now, Feathered Fury is the next one down Wind Slasher path. Slicing Storm does increased damage. Unleash the full fury of the bird. If you're not a fan of that, or you think, hey, those blades are good enough as is, you're going to want to come in here, upgrade his tertiary attack. It is called the Storm Focus Path, and it begins with Lightning Strikes Thrice. Hold X to charge Eye of the Storm, release to shoot a larger bolt of lightning, and then that's followed with Charged Gigawatt Bolt. Lightning Strikes Thrice does increased damage and more powerful than lightning. Now, regardless if you go Wind Slasher or Storm Focus, you have access to his top half soul gem. It is called Storming Stormblades. Press Y to attack with yet more powerful Stormblades that deal extra lightning damage. So, again, my thoughts on Free Ranger based on his box stock ability, particularly the Stormblades primary attack. I think he's going to do some really good damage, kind of much akin to Stealth Elf, really. That said, we're going to exit the top half now. Can't stress that enough. And then you see me go to the bottom. Everything we talk about now is going to be related to the bottom end. You should be able to distinguish it with the tornado theme, but just in case, bottom end now. What he has, box stock, is called Ride the Wind, kind of reminiscent of one of my favorites, Tornado. Hold A to become a tornado and damage nearby enemies. Minimal damage, but it is very quick, and obviously that's box stock. So, first purchased upgrade, Approaching Storm. Hold A to become a tornado. Speed is increased while the tornado is active. I like the speed boost there. What I like about wind powered is duration. Becoming a tornado will last longer. Now the final purchased upgrade for the bottom end is called Tornado Vacuum Boost. Tornadoes now pulling enemies from farther away. Obviously that's going to allow you to damage them sooner, quickly, longer. You get the idea. Now we get to the point you have to pick an upgrade path. The headset's wanting to fall off. You've got Lightning Linguist or Tornado Thrower. The Lightning Linguist is going to be the top one here. Begins with Lightning Nova. Blast all nearby enemies with a powerful lightning bolt when becoming a tornado. If you think, hey, what buttons associated with that? It's simply, your primary bottom end attack, A button here on the Wii U. As soon as you become the tornado, you're going to activate Lightning Nova. Next up, we have the Nova Flash. Lightning Nova does increase damage. If that doesn't interest you, like I said, you can go with Tornado Thrower. It begins Wild Tornado. This one, instead of being during or at the start, it's actually when it ends. When becoming a tornado ends, a powerful tornado is shot out, damaging all enemies in the way. It is followed up with Twisted Twister. Again, don't confuse it with Twisted Sister or Dee Snider. More powerful tornadoes are shot forward that does increased damage to enemies. I love numbers. Again, what can you do? We at least have the training grounds here to check immediately, so that's somewhat satisfactory. So regardless here on the bottom end, if you go Lightning Linguist as the tornado develops, or Tornado Thrower as your primary bottom end attack expires, you still have access to the Soul Gem. The Soul Gem is called Charged Winds. Hold A to become a tornado filled with lightning, dealing damage to all enemies in the way. That is ridiculous. What I'm personally thinking is then when that times out or expires, you'll either be doing Lightning Linguist as it happens or Tornado Thrower when it ends. So again, I think the top half's really probably going to be the most impressive damage wise, but that bottom end I don't think should be taken for granted. What we'll do now, take a look at his quest. First 6, again, pretty much generic, you should know them. Back 3, air specific. Last one, of course, free ranger specific. We begin. Defeat 1,000 enemies. Eat 15 pieces of fruit. Don't take damage in non-story mode level. Win 10 PvP matches. This totally maxed out. I'm a fan. It encourages you to explore the character. You've heard me say it a million times now. Elementalist to me is basic, 7,500 elemental damage. Every character has that. Now, air specific. Geronimo, travel over 250 feet in one fall. You'll want to find a place you can do this. You'll see it pop up when you complete it. If you can go back up, by like an elevator, pedestals, platforming, whatever, my advice would be just go ahead and crank the thing out for all your air Skylanders at that point in time. If not, remember what chapter it's in, where it's at, and you'll have to play through and get back to that point and repeat it. Obviously, I haven't done it yet, so I'll kind of investigate it as I play. Next up, Sky Looter. Collect a total of 500 gold in midair. We'll have to play around with Tornado and see if that actually activates that, or if you actually need to fall to do it, etc. And then his personal one is called Ruffled Feathers, which again kind of gets confusing with Hoot Loop's slogan, "Let's ruffle some feathers." And of course the whole packaging thing going on. Anyway, hit enemies 25 times without stopping your melee attacks. Not going to be an issue. Really, you just need enemies, quite a few of them, because he's going to kill the smaller enemies very quickly, even box stock. So keep that in mind. You might want to find an area where you can do this before you upgrade him, where he obliterates even tougher enemies. But that is that for his quest. That's that for his story. That's that for his upgrade. You've seen him in the game. You've seen him on the training grounds. We got the slogan, background story. Previous video was Free Ranger. This, of course, being Legendary Free Ranger. Biggest news here, really, on Legendary Free Ranger, in my opinion, is that he has no stat boost at all over standard Free Ranger. I'm kind of disappointed about that. I like to have kind of like the creme de la creme, if you will, the top of the line stuff. Would have loved to have seen it, for the legendaries and the darks, but it is what it is. The main thing, though, it's still desirable to have the legendary. It comes up different in the game, as you can see there. More importantly, though, I think, aside from the collection aspects, having the legendary Free Ranger and Free Ranger, you get to take both paths for the top and the bottom half, and that's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in a position where you just got legendary Free Ranger, or you got the 3DS starter pack, don't have Toys R Us, money's tight, you don't want to spend it on legendary Free Ranger, you'd rather have like Firecracking or something. Understandable, but you might be in a position where you're debating what path to take, wondering if you took the right path, etc. Since I have access to the two characters, I will actually be able to showcase both paths for the top and the bottom for you, thus allowing you to say, hey, I made the right choice, man, that other path looks awesome, I'm going to switch, geez, that whole thing is great, I'm going to go out and buy a second Free Ranger, etc. So, main thing there, have fun, help you out, make the most out of your money. But that is that. It is 5:42. I am going to have to go to bed, get a little bit of sleep here. I'd actually love to keep recording. I'm just kind of losing my voice at this point. Like, been going 2-3 hours or something here in the middle of the night. That said, like I mentioned, I think Free Ranger is going to be a beast in terms of like damage output. That was bad. I actually kicked the kid there. My foot kind of tired. But this takes care of the entire starter pack intros. Now we're into the legendaries. May actually go ahead, since we just did Rattleshake, I might come in, do Night Shift, Legendary Night Shift, stick to the swappers, go ahead and get like Boomjet, Drilla, Firecracking, the Hoot Loops going, then get into our new landers and kind of roll from there. So I think that's what I'll do. My reason for stopping the playthrough at Chapter 5, I've realized that like the solo survival is not going to be a good heroic challenge replacement. And number 2, I want to get I don't want to play Boomjet and Firecracking and get them to like level 4 and skew the stats. While I've still got them relatively box stock, I can introduce them at level 1. You'll see them if they're 290 health, you'll see 290 health. You won't see like 420 and me have to say, hey, it's because he's level 7, yada yada. So, and once I do that, by gosh, I will not hesitate at all to use these characters in the game. So, we'll do them back to back. When I do Night Shift, you can see Legendary Night Shift before or after that. Enchanted Hoot Loop and Hoot Loop, Nitro, Magna Charge, Firecracking and Boomjet right now are going to be solo. But I think we'll do that, and then like I said, I'll kind of get in immediately. Other characters I've really been wanting to use are Scorp and Riptide. I'm anxious to get them in. Same goes for pretty much everybody, but in particularly the other new landers. We got Starstrike, LC Starstrike, we got LC Smolderdash in the mix. There's just tons of stuff none of those characters have actually even graced the portal on the Wii U, so really anxious to get them on, see how they perform, get them going in the playthrough. So I'm amped up about that. Don't want to get too excited. I want to try and get some sleep here tonight. But again, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. That'll keep you up with all the latest. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the blog, oneofweezem.com, and we will catch you back here as we continue these character introductions. If possible, tomorrow night, later this evening, I should say, I'm going to try to crank out as many of these intros as I can. Once I've recorded them, by gosh, I can come in there and we can use these characters in the playthrough. So, stoked about that. Really excited to see how some of them look and perform. Zulu, Popthorn, etc. So, stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching. I'll quit rambling, and I will catch you back here for more introductions on Skylanders Swap Force.